writes a book called 40 Days to a Life of Gold. And again, while I'm not quoting him word for word, I am using just kind of, his ideas, particularly his acronyms. And today, as we go into day 11 of Living Life Like It Is Golden, the acronym, it is crazy long, but I think very, very positive and beneficial. It is day 11, Beyond Limitation. Beyond limitation. Today we're going to talk about how to live life beyond limits, beyond challenges, beyond barriers, always believing, knowing that there is something else. That's really it. If you have to kind of jump off the call or, kind of shut your computer down or turn your phone off for a moment, the core of today is that if you're going to live a life that is golden, you must learn to live beyond limitations. Hey, Stacy. Because life will have limitations. Some are physical, some are mental, some are financial, some are geographical, based on where you are. There are so many types of limitations that you will not be able to maximize your potential and live to the best and experience the best God has for you if we allow the first limitation to really create for us, some boundary. So today's about living beyond limitation. All right, here it is. Here it is. The long acronym. I'm probably only going to say it 2 or 3 times. If you're on Periscope, you're just going to have to do the replay. If you're on Facebook, I already typed it up. It's this. Hey, Crystal, live beyond limitation. Here it is. Beyond. Boldly embrace your own natural destiny. Beyond. If you're going to live beyond, you have to boldly embrace your own natural destiny. See, that's important because oftentimes the barriers we have or the area we're in, the limits that we face are usually because somebody else has placed them on you. And let me tell you this, honestly. Most people will place limits on you because they have limits themselves. And any person who has not broken beyond their own limits, oftentimes, there's a few people who don't fall in this category, but oftentimes they have a very difficult time trying to see you further than they are. And so if you're going to move beyond limitations, beyond where you are, grow beyond what has been, then you have to boldly embrace your own natural destiny. Let me get at least one person to type that up there. Boldly embrace your own natural destiny. I got you, Luce. I appreciate that. So Periscope, you got it. Facebook, anybody gonna type that up? Boldly embrace your own natural destiny. Peanut, I'm not sure if you're on, but if you're there, I know you typed it. Here's the second part, limitations. Because we're talking about moving beyond limitation. Here's limitation. Life is measured in thought. Abundant thinking is of necessity. Thanks, Crystal. Here it is. Life is measured in thought. Abundant thinking is of necessity. I'm going to just kind of explain that and try it one more time in case you missed it. Limitation. Life is measured in abundant thought. Thinking is of necessity. Here's all that means. That if you're going to really get beyond limitations, move to whatever is next, get to the next level from glory to glory, maximize potential, increase your income, be stable financially, have wholesome relationships, be who you're supposed to be on your job, in your organization, or in your ministry, at some point you got to think. Usually what is presented to you will present challenges. The only way to overcome, get beyond, or get through a challenge is to think. You have to reason with yourself. You have to consider. You have to see and then reconsider again. You have to hear and then think of an option or another way. This week actually, I was at a conference and Dr. Geis Johnson, she presents this idea of the third alternative. She talks about how usually people know to ask for more. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, this is what you have, this is what I'm offering you, most of us will say, no, I want another option. But after you've been given even 2 options or a third option, she suggests that after they have presented to you the best they can do, then you create another option, an alternative option, something that they have not presented, and then you present this as the end-all deal. What she was saying was, we got to think. And whenever we talk about limitations, one of the things we talk about is this idea of constantly thinking through. Never settle. As a matter of fact, one of the things we talk about in my CMI leadership coaching, when I help people launch businesses, become entrepreneurs, or just maximize their leadership, is you never take what's given to you. You only get what you negotiate, right? My 7-year-old D right now, no matter what you offer him, he will always negotiate. It's borderline talking back, so we're working on that. However, what he understands is if you present an option, then that must mean there are other options. And if we are going to live beyond limitation, one of the things we must learn to do is think and really come up with some alternative. Never accept what is given, never accept the status quo, never accept that this is it, never accept that this is as far as you can go, never accept that what has been has to always be. If you think, you'll be able to go further. And that really brings us to the scripture for today, and just a couple points I want to highlight. The scripture focus for today is Proverbs 23:7. Proverbs 23:7. Here's what it says. Proverbs 23:7. Somebody can type that up there so I know you got it. Proverbs 23:7 says this: as he thinks within himself, so he is. As he thinks within himself, so he is. I think the King James Version that many of you may be familiar with says something like this: as a man thinketh, so is he. And here's the core today. If you would take what is given, see the obstacles, see the challenge, look at the walls that are around you, accept the barriers, and then rethink, put your mind to work, you will discover that you can move beyond limitation. So a couple of things, practically, how do we do that? One, the first thing you got to do is look beyond what you see. Whatever you see is not it. Look, there's always something behind the scenes. There's always next. There's no A, B without a C. There's no 1, 2 without a 3. Whenever you see something, now you look for what else exists. No, vision is not always about what you can see. Vision is what you visualize based on what you see. For instance, right now, I got this iPad. I got this iPad Mini in front of me. The iPad Mini was presented to me as a great business tool. It was given as a gift, and they said, hey, you can type your sermons on this. You can use this to surf the web. You can use it for email. You can even video chat. That was what was given to me. That is what I could see. However, after playing with the iPad and downloading additional apps, I'm now able to use it for more than what they gave it to me for. So when it was given, there were limits placed on what I should do with it. But when I saw it, looking beyond it, I said, hey, I can use this to actually broadcast and now share devotional moments with, this cyber family on Periscope and Facebook and iTunes blog and conference call. All of that because after you see something, you have to visualize more. So the first thing you want to do is look beyond what you see as possible. And let me just say this. One of the ways you can see beyond what is possible is finding out what others have done. Look, you have to read. You got to read books because reading books gives you insight to other people's thoughts and ideas. Do TED Talks. Listen to sermons. Ask people questions. You learn more asking questions than you ever will giving advice. And sometimes you only get empowerment through exposure. So the empowerment through exposure then says, hey, here are some additional options that you would have never thought of. Thank you, Pastor Bryant. Hey, Bryant in Greensboro. Glad you guys are with us. Look, there are some things that you would never even imagine. There are some things you would never think to do until somebody else exposes you to it. Once they expose you to it, you then add that to the things that you can visualize based on what you see. So that one, you can look beyond what is possible. 2, write down your vision. Look, it is archaic. I'm not saying, look, don't type it. I'm a computer geek. I'm a tech nerd, but do not type your vision. I mean, you can type it. I'm not saying don't type it. I'm not saying don't text it. I'm not saying don't post it. But in addition to that, write it down. Old-fashioned pen, paper, pencil, paper, crayon, paper, marker, paper, chalk, whiteboard. Write it down. Something happens between your mind, your eye, and action when you write it down. Habakkuk says, "Let's write the vision, make it plain," right? And really, I want to encourage you to create a vision board somewhere where you can literally write down. I'm not encouraging the TV show, but I think one of the most powerful scenes that I cannot forget in Mary Jane, what was Mary Jane? Being Mary Jane, the Being Mary Jane show, Gabrielle Union. Anybody seen that? Hey, Peanut. Hey, Sister Alfreda. Whenever you write it down, it gives you a visual of what's in your mind. Things change drastically from thought to paper. Write it down. And then being Mary Jane, what she had were all of these stickies, except when that dude came over. Then she threw them away like she didn't know. But no, what she did was she had all of these stickies on this window of positive affirmations, thoughts, and visions. To this day, I have one of those $1 composition notebooks, the black and white ones with the big, big lines. And in that book, I have both pictures I've drawn, scriptures I stand on, and ideas, goals, businesses. I just write it all down. Writing it down creates a contract with you for you. That's what Ruben Cuppy says. He's a great leadership coach. Writing it down creates a contract for you with you. So you got to write it down. So make sure you write down the vision, inscribe it on tablets, right? I think is what Habakkuk says. Here's the third thing you got to do. Put your vision on tape and listen to it twice a day. Record it, audio. Somewhere, put it where you can listen to it. Listen to it in the morning, listen to it at noon. Or listen to it at noon, listen to it before you go to bed. Listen to it twice a day. Somehow record it, audio note, audio recorder, record yourself on video, but whatever this new you is, beyond the limits, record it. Let me pause here and say this. Whenever we talk about beyond limits, I firmly believe that everything that has anything to do with our life happens in 4 areas, right? Your finances, your physical body, your family and relationships, and your faith. One more time, 4 areas: your finances, your physical body, family and relationships, and your faith. So what I'm saying now is try to figure out how you can go beyond limits in these 4 areas, right? In these 4 areas. The fourth thing you want to do is don't share your dreams with don't share your dreams with dream killers. Look, sometimes you don't know that they're dream killers until after you shared it. But then after that, don't keep beating them in the head. Don't try to convince them that this is right. Don't spend all of your time trying to coerce them into coming on board and co-signing. No. Look, you share it with people who will co-sign on going forward. Share it with people who will invest in it. Share it with people who will buy a book to help you get to where you're going, or send you to a conference, or go with you to a conference, or give you $20 on starting a business. Share it with people who will help you move to your next level. 5, plant your seed in fertile ground. Invest in whatever it is you believe. Look, money doesn't rule everything. Money doesn't rule the world, but money makes a very large statement. And oftentimes we are unwilling to actually invest in the very thing we want to reap from. Look, if you're going to be good at this, if you're going to do well at it, you have to be intentional about investing in it. Spend the money on the conference, spend the money on the book, spend the money on the coaching, spend the money on listening to somebody else talk about where you're trying to go. 6, nurture your dreams with prayer, meditation, and study, right? You won't know what to do unless you take time to find out what to do. And the best way to find out is through prayer, through meditation, and through study. 7, pursue your dreams. Look, none of this matters if you don't do it. You have to actually put mind into movement. You actually have to start doing the very thing you've been dreaming. Faith without works is dead. Go for it. 8, endure. There's absolutely no way you can go after something beyond the limit without some opposition. Endure, be steadfast, persevere. Make sure that you do not let a wall stop you. Carve a hole in it, make it a window. Bust a hole in it, make it a door. Do whatever you have to do, but make sure you go forward. Here, real quick, we're over time. Let me say this. Couple things you want to do. Just practically. 1, ask yourself, where do you see yourself in 10 years? 2nd, where do you see yourself in 5 years? In one of those 4 areas, or all of those 4 areas. Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? Like, how much money will you have saved? Will you be debt free? How many times would you have worked out? How much weight would you have gained? How much weight would you have lost? How much muscle mass? How many relationships would you reestablish? Who would you have talked to? What networks would you have created or been involved in? Or lastly, where do you see yourself in 6 months? Look, this was a little long. I apologize. But 1, hey, we missed last week. I had to get back in the groove. 2nd, it's a long acronym. Beyond limitation. Boldly embrace your own natural destiny. Life is measured in thought abundant. Life is measured in thought. Abundant thinking is of necessity. Father, thank you today I thank you today, God, just for the insights. And I pray, God, our meeting, our gathering is not in vain, but God, somehow you use all of this to help us be more like you, to help us maximize what you place in us, both spiritually and in potential. And God, I pray at the end of the day that dreams come to pass, that goals, aspirations are achieved, not because of the devotional, not because of the steps, but because you, God, have walked alongside us and empowered us. So be now with every person who will watch this broadcast, be with us on replay, spend this time with us live. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.